Hello and welcome. My name is Vida and this is a podcast about knitting. I just came back from dropping my kids off at Barnehave in school, and we had a morning. As I think if you have kids, you know, mornings are like a gamble. You just don't know what you are gonna get up with, or what you're gonna get end up with, basically. And started out well. I'm talking here because I just saw I am in the middle of a row, so I'm just gonna want to get through the row. So I'm gonna do a bit of a chat while I get to the end. But my son woke up, he's 4, and was very happy. The first thing he said was that they were gonna have a party today at Barnehave. And that's because the big kids, the ones that are gonna start school after the summer holiday, they are gonna move on to what we call like preschool, or like, but not preschool in like the sense, in the English or American sense. Basically, they're gonna meet all their classmates and be more at the school, and then until they are gonna start school in August. So they're gonna meet the teachers and sort of meet each other and just kind of get acquainted and used to being in a school setting, I guess. And so they are gonna, this is their last day. They're gonna move there May 1st. It is the end of April today. And so they're gonna have a party and celebrate them. And my son was just very, very excited about it because he knew they were gonna have popcorn. So he woke up very happy, and my daughter woke up not that happy. She didn't want to go to school. She wanted to have a day off, and she thought it was very unfair that her brother often has days off from Barnehave. I told her that, you know, when you went to Barnehave, you also often had days off, but you can't just get days off when you go to school. Like skip to them eating koldskål for breakfast. Well, they had to have rye bread first, but then they were allowed to have koldskål, which is like a Danish dairy dessert kind of thing. It's basically egg yolks, yogurt, kind of like neutral yogurt, candy milk. I have no clue what that is. Like a fermented milk kind of, and some sugar, vanilla, lemon, I think. I've never made it because I'm not really a fan of koldskål myself. But they got that, and then they got cardigan, which again, I don't know what that, it's not something that I think is that you can get maybe in other countries. Oh, they're right here. I'm gonna show you one. Basically, it's just a cookie, kind of like a cookie, like this. This is a small one, and you put that in and you eat it. So they love that. And then my son got extremely mad because he could not find one of his cardigan, and nobody knew where it was. And he was angry and told his sister that she could not look at him. She ended up sitting on the floor. She got mad. And then he found it because he had already put it in the koldskål. It was just, he couldn't see it. And then suddenly we were busy, had to run to get the bus, and yeah, dropped them off. I biked home, which was lovely. I used to bike a lot before I had kids, like all the time. And I haven't done it much since they were born. I've been walking a lot more, but it was just lovely biking home. It's been sunny, it's springtime, all the fields are starting to fill up with corn, beautiful flowers, and yeah, it was just really, really nice. So, but you know, it's just, you just never know what you're gonna get in the mornings with kids, ever. But you know, we ended up having a nice drop off and everything was well, but it's just, I guess it is what it is. I'm still not at the end of this row at all. It's ginormously long, but I don't have a ton to show you because I've mostly just been working on one project, which is very unlike me, but I don't know, that's just the project that I've been wanting to work on. I also have another project that I think I am going to frog, which is the What is the name of that sweater or that cardigan? I can't remember. It's by Anne Vincent, and it's it's the Archives collection, I think, from Isa, that I have been working on and then not been working on for a while. You've seen it. And it's a big cardigan, and I'm just not, I don't think I'm gonna wear it, basically. And so I don't think I'm gonna finish it. I mean, even though I just need to knit the front button bands and the sleeves, but the sleeves are not gonna take long because part of the cardigan is like a drop shoulder, so it's not that much left of the sleeve to knit. I just don't think I'm gonna wear it. It's very oversized and baggy, and I don't really think it's a good fit for my body. It's kind of, I think I would look a little frumpy, if that's a word, when wearing it. I think if you are a very tiny, slender person, or maybe tall even, that would be a good fit, but for me it's just too big and oversized, I think. So I have found another cardigan that I think I'm gonna try and knit, which is also a bit oversized, but it looks better. I'm gonna show it to you. Okay, how many stitches do I have on here? Like a ton. Okay, I'm gonna show you I'm gonna start out with the cardigan, I guess. So this is the cardigan. I don't know why I can't remember the name. What is the called? No. I'm gonna find the name here. Because that's easier than me having to write it on screen when I do the editing. So it is a chunky cardigan by Anne Vincent, and where is it? Collar Cape, of course, Collar Cape. That's the name of it. And I'm in the middle of a row, yes, of course. But I'm done with the body, and I'm in the middle of the button band here. And it is lovely. I love the pattern, I love the look. I just don't think it's gonna be a good pattern for me, basically. So I think I'm gonna throw it. I still haven't decided completely, but I don't have any desire to work on it. And I don't have any desire to work on it because I don't think I'm gonna wear it. Instead, like I said, I am thinking about knitting a pattern by Rosa Pomar. This one from Line. This is the winter 2023 issue, and it's called Badana. And I just think, I mean, this is still oversized, but there's something about the fit here that is a little less chunky than the Collar Cape. And I can't really tell what it is. I don't know. It's just, it looks... Because this one also has drop shoulder. It does have a different, what's it called? Shoulder construction, and maybe that's why. As far as I remember, you kind of knit this, you knit the front and then you knit the back. You pick up here, like you do a cast on with a, is that called provisional cast on, where the stitches are live and then you pick up and it, so you knit the back and then you pick up here and knit the fronts, to the two fronts. So it has less, I guess, shaping here on the shoulders. It's just like a big square or triangular piece. And I think, as you can see here on the shoulders, maybe you can you see that? It looks like they have a bit more shape to them. And I'm guessing that's why I think this looks better, or will fit me better. And it just looks a little more, I don't know, less chunky, because I think even the gauge is probably around the same. Yeah, so that is on my mind if I should do that. I'm just gonna see what the gauge is. Gauge is 14 stitches, which is around the same as the color cape. So I could rip it back and then use the darker yarn here. I'm not going to use the white, of course, but the darker yarn to knit that one. Yeah, that is on my mind. I'm probably not going to do it right now because I have other plans, but yeah, it is taken, it's still resting in its basket. So the thing that has been taking up most of my knitting time is another cardigan, which is the Calm Down cardigan by Lily Kate France, I think is her name. And this is a cardigan, I have talked about it before, I'm gonna just show you a picture of it. That is just a plain stockinette stitch, but it has some nice details that I was drawn to, particularly the little, I think she calls it, I just kind of look at it as a front split, or like I don't know, front split hem. That's what it looks like, but she calls it, what is it? She has like a funny name for it. Front notch. It's a front notch. I don't know if that's the right term, but I'm guessing it is since she calls it. So you can see here that it has like that split hem vibe or whatever feel in the front that I really like. I don't like when I have sweaters or cardigans that are too tight around the waist at the bottom. It just doesn't suit my body shape well. So that was really what drew me to this pattern. It also has a rib detail down this, can you see it? Oh, well, I can show you that because I have that here. It has a rib detail. There, you can see it here on the shoulder and also down the sleeve here, all the way on top of the shoulder and down the sleeve. Just very simple, but still effective. I have mainly been working on this cardigan. I haven't been knitting that much, but when I've felt like knitting, that's the pattern that I reach for. I am working with yarn that almost feels magical because I was so sure when I cast on this sweater, I also told you that I would run out of yarn because the yardage requirements in the pattern was just a lot more than what I had, but for some reason I cast it on anyway. I don't really know why I thought that was a good idea. I just think I was just excited about the thought of a cardigan in this yarn and this color, and was just hopeful that somehow it would all magically work out. And I had found yarn, like I said, on Rauma that looked very similar, so if I ran out I would use that for the ribbing and the neckband. But for some reason it looks like I will have enough yarn, knock on wood. Sugnithatten. Sugnithatten is 7, 9, 13, which is basically the same as knock on wood, but just in Danish we say Sugnithatten. Or bank under bordet, which is like knock under the table. You would like say that and knock under the table. So you cast on top down, and then you knit the, I talked about the construction, which was very different from what I tried before, but it all worked out. So you knit one front, you knit the back, and then you knit the other front, and then you join front and back under the yarns, and then you knit back and forth. And I did that until I ran out of the first skein of yarn. So basically the first skein of yarn got me this much, minus the sleeves of course, and then I cast on with the next skein of yarn, knitted one sleeve, weighed the yarn, and I had 43 grams left after this one, which is basically almost enough, not quite, but almost enough for knitting the second sleeve. So I'm on the second sleeve now, still have this much left of the second skein. And then, you know, I have plenty to knit on the body and on the bottom band. So I am very, very hopeful that I am gonna have enough yarn here. And I don't know if the pattern has been very generous with how much yarn you use. And I say this also, I have been trying to minimize the yarn that I've used. I have knitted a size smaller than I would normally do, because I found that the pattern pictures that I've seen on Instagram, it looks like a very big and oversized sweater on the people that have knit the cardigan. And the sleeves in particular just looks very long and big. And I thought that if I knitted the cardigan a size down, so that obviously means you need less yarn. And then if you at the same time, if I at the same time decide, if I at the same time did more decreases on the sleeves, then I would use less yarn than what the pattern calls for. And so I did that. And the sleeves, I just did more rapid decrease. She recommends in the pattern that you can make more decreases to make the sleeves narrower. So I did that, and I think I end up with maybe 10 stitches less than the smaller size right at the cuff when I cast off. So they are smaller than what the pattern recommends. Yeah, so I'm so excited that maybe I'm gonna have enough yarn for this one. I did run out of the silk mohair, which is a Biche Bouche silk mohair. I knew that. I only had 3 skeins. I think I cast on thinking I had 4, but I apparently only had three of them. And I was looking, as you do, for more of that silk mohair and found it here in Denmark. There's, I think, 1 or 2 stores that carries Biche Bouche. And I just went on Wool Collective's website, and she had the yarn, the colorway, and ordered 2 skeins, and then just sent her a note in that order saying, if you by miracle or like any chance has the same dye lot, which was like dye lot 422 or something, I would love that. But otherwise, just send me what you have. And she sent it to me, and it was the same dye lot. And this is the second time this has happened to me, so I just feel very lucky. So she had the exact same dye lot, which I bought the original skeins. I bought them in Barcelona, and Barcelona knits for like a year and a half ago. And so I don't know, what are the chances that a tiny store in Denmark ends up having the same yarn and the same dye lot? I don't know, just, yeah. So things are working out lovely for this cardigan, and I am very, very excited to work on it. It just, yeah, it's just simple stocking knits, but apparently that's what I really enjoy working on. Basically most of what I knit is stocking stitch, you know. But I'm just gonna show it to you so you can see probably what I've done. So we have the yoke done, then we have the sleeve here with all the dangly bits here. I am in the middle of the second sleeve, as you saw, so every time I do a decrease on that other sleeve, I take one off here and then remove it and put it onto this sleeve here, so that I know that I do the same amount of decrease on both sleeves, so they're going to be identical, well, as close to identical as they can. There's also some decreases in the ribbing, actually, also in the pattern, and you can see them. I actually prefer these ones for decreasing because they're not as dangly and in the way. Like the bigger ones, I keep getting my yarn caught in them, but I just don't have enough. These little, I don't know what to call them, stitch markers are just, they disappear, at least for me. I used to have a ton and now I only have these left, I guess. So here we are. This one is a stitch marker I made for a advent calendar, I think, back when Corona was on like all over the world. Yeah, and like I said, the yarn I used was the Vichy Bouche, and then the Hjelholt Pelsull. I think I'm actually a mix of that and merino from Thibaut hand dyed. It's beautiful. I've had this for so many years. Just waiting for the perfect project. And yeah, like I said, I still have this ball left and then another skein. I wish I knew how much yarn to use or like to save for the button band. That's the only thing that worries me a bit. I don't know how much yarn that button band takes. And because I would like to use as much yarn as possible, so ideally I would just knit until I used every last bit of the yarn. But it is a bit difficult because it would also be very frustrating to knit the button band. I can only knit the button band once I'm done with the body, obviously. So it was, I don't know, I would just be so annoyed knitting the button band and then probably like running out of yarn when I like 10 centimeters before I'm done with the button band. So I don't know if there's a way to figure out how much yarn you use for a button band. Is there anybody, like, is there a calculator or something? Maybe you know. I don't really, I've never heard of it, but that would be nice to kind of like, okay, how many centimeters do you need to knit and how wide is it gonna be, and then plop that in some kind of calculator thing and it would tell you, okay, you need, I don't know, 20 grams of yarn. But I do think it's a double knit. No, it's not a double knit button band. It looks like a double knit, but I don't think it is. Oh, is it? I don't know. But button bands can take up more yarn than you think. So that's the only thing. I'm gonna have to figure, I'm just gonna have to try. And I think if I end up running out of yarn, depending on how much yarn it is, but if it's just a tiny bit, I'm probably gonna use some from the sleeves instead of having to ripping the whole thing back. Especially if it's a double knitted button band, then I'm just not gonna bother having to rip that back, because I really am not. I love the way it looks, I just don't love knitting it. It's kind of boring, I find. Just a lot of knitting back and forth and back and forth. And it takes up a lot of time because you don't knit every stitch and, you know. So, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, I guess. The sleeve is, you know, I could get away with ripping up like just a centimeter or so of it, but I also know that my knitwears tend to kind of pull up or like felt a bit, so they always get shorter, so I would prefer not having to take any yarn out of the sleeves. We will see. So hopefully I'm done with this next time. That's my plan. I really want to get this off the needle by next month. So the next thing that I just cast on the other day, yesterday, was it yesterday? Not long ago. But that is a top for Esther. I saw this, I saw a girl wearing like a knitted top and I thought, you know, I could knit her one. My kid Esther is not, and has for many years, not really wanting to wear any knitwear that I've made her. She does want to wear knitwear that her grandma, Mama, makes for her. And I don't know if that's because she has 2 vests that my mom made for her, and they are both knitted in alpaca yarn, which I really don't hate it, but I find it itchy, and that's why I've never knit her anything in alpaca yarn. But I don't think she finds it itchy because she has been wearing those 2 vests. Granted, they're vests, so she's not wearing it right on her body, but still. So anyway, back to the top. But I thought I could knit her a summer top. That would be fun. It's not that big of a time investment because she's 8, so it would be a kid size, and you know, summer top doesn't have any sleeves, and yeah, I just want to knit her something. So I thought that would be something that I could do. And then I remembered that I had a book by Trine Frank Påskesen, which is, she used to be a knitwear designer, she's not a knitwear designer anymore. But that had a very cute summer top that I thought maybe she would like. And so yesterday we were looking at, I showed her the pattern yesterday, and she said that she liked it, and I found some of my plant-based fibers down in the basement, and she chose the green one here that I'm working on, which is I think 100% bamboo, and I'm pretty sure it's a pickle yarn as well, a very old pickle yarn. Let's see. I have been working on another summer top for me a long time ago, so here it is. Oh, so this yarn, you can see, it's very drapey. This is not the top, this is the one that I was working on for me and then stopped working on years ago. And here it is. So it's very drapey and heavy. I think bamboo is often kind of heavy, I don't know, or maybe just in general plant-based fibers are. But so the pattern is the Svele. You can see it here. And I asked her if she wanted the ruffle there, and she said yes. She did say yesterday when she went to bed, she was like, can you make it in a purple instead? And I was like, well, let's try to knit this one in the green, because I already have the green, and see if you like it. And if you like it, I will knit you a purple one, because I just don't want to go out and buy yarn if she's not going to wear it anyway. And she was okay with that. So I'm gonna knit the green one first, and then she can try it out and see if she likes it, and then she can have a purple one as well for summer. It has a little sort of eyelet detail on the back. Let's see if I can find a picture of there. And then you can also see the eye cords there are 2 eye cords as well. Let's see, there's another picture that's kind of cute. I'm gonna see if I can show that to you. As you can see, it is quite wide, so I am thinking about doing less. I've cast on for the size 4-year-old, and she is 8, but I also often find that like the torso in kids aren't that different. So Anton is definitely wider around his torso than Esther is, and he's 4 and she's 8. She's I think she's kind of standard size for an 8-year-old. But I thought that would be fine since it is quite wide. It is gonna be a heavier top, and she's only gonna have those 2 straps of I-cord on her shoulder, and I don't want it to feel too heavy. So I thought if I cast on less stitches, obviously it's not gonna be as heavy because it's not gonna be as much fabric at the end when the top is done. So I'm gonna do that, and then I can see in the pattern that you cast on and then you do some decreasing, so it's like A-line shaped. I'm gonna see how many of those I'm gonna do, and I've cast on. It's supposed to be knitted in the round, but I always, especially when I have many stitches on the needle, I have around 200 here, I usually knit a row or 2 back and forth first before I join in around, because that way it's easy for me to avoid them being twisted, so I don't have like a twisted piece of knitwear that I then have to rip out, because you can't really fix that. And especially in this pattern, because it has like a folded over hemline, so you won't see that there's like a tiny gap between the first few stitches when I join it, because obviously when I join it there's gonna be an edge on either side of the piece that I haven't knitted in the round. So I always do that. If I get the chance, I will do it, because I find it so much easier than having to make sure that everything is lined up and then being so frustrated when you think you've done your very best to making sure that none of the stitches are twisted, and then they're twisted and you have to redo the whole thing. So for me that's definitely a lot easier than doing it right away. So I think this is gonna be it for now. I am gonna see if I can get this edited as quickly as possible, and then I want to go out in our entryway and prepare it for some paint, because I'm gonna paint that one blue. I mentioned before that Jakob and I are very different in terms of interior design and many other things, and I think he's maybe a bit more classic in the sense that he kind of just like white and black and boring things, if you ask me. If you're like him, I'm sure you're fine and good, but we're just different in that sense. I would like a lot more color in here, but we kind of have to compromise. But he was like, you can do whatever you want in the entryway, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it blue because we have blue paint, and I thought then I could use that for the rest. And if I have enough, I also want to paint the ceiling blue, but we also have a pink that I'm using for Esther's room, and I thought that would be kind of cool, like blue walls and then a pink ceiling. And I'm thinking about maybe I should just do it without telling him. Sometimes it's easy to just do it instead of having to discuss if you should do it or not. And I even think if I do it, he's probably not even going to notice until a few days, to be honest. So you can see here I have a blue cupboard because I wanted some color in here. And I actually just had Anton help me paint some pictures because I also wanted color. I'm going to show them to you. Here. So he helped out with the paint here. I tried out myself, and then I just didn't like it. It just looked too like somebody had tried too hard. So I found the colors. I decided the colors, and I just kind of put them on the painting with like little dots, and then he did the painting, and he was actually really enjoyed it and was kind of meticulous about it. And the same thing with this one. As you can see, I did the blue and yellow and light blue here, and then he kind of got to do the rest. And you know, just some color for the wall basically. And I like that. You know, I like that they have a little bit of a story too, and the kit that he made them. I'm gonna ask Esther if she wants to paint some too, and we could do that. I am gonna sign off now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you next month when this one, 7/9, knock on wood, is all done and perfectly knit without any yarn missing for the bottom band. Fingers crossed. Bye.